In the midst of the fierce competition and the crazy philosophy of the Blue Lock project, which aims to create the world's #1 striker, there's one name that keeps popping up. A walking puzzle that makes us all scratch our heads. Among monsters with heavenly talent, there's a player who should have been eliminated on day one. He is an anomaly, a paradox, and possibly the key to the biggest mystery in Blue Lock right now. We're not talking about Isagi, Nagi, or Rin. We're talking about the failed monk, Gurimu Igarashi. Just imagine, in a facility designed to crush the weak, Igarashi entered with the absolute bottom rank, 300th out of 300 participants. He was, quite literally, the lowest ranked player in the entire project. His background is just as unique. He grew up in his family's temple, and his only motivation to play soccer was to avoid having to become a monk. With nothing but sheer guts and a will of steel somehow, Igarashi managed to survive the super brutal storm of eliminations. If we're being honest, Igarashi's golden moments in the initial selections were, well, almost non-existent. He was more often the comic relief or just a background character in Team Z. However, this is where his miracle begins. He kept surviving, whether through sheer luck or an extraordinary survival instinct. Let's jump straight to the moment that shook the Japanese soccer world. The match between the Blue Lock 11 and the Japan U20 national team. At this point, the best 35 players remained, and Ego Jinpachi risked it all. If Blue Lock won, they would take over the national team. Of course, Igarashi wasn't chosen as a starter. That was obvious. But the crazy part is, his name was still on the list of substitutes. He sat on the same bench as the future geniuses of Japanese soccer. And when Blue Lock secured a dramatic victory, it meant that every player on the squad, including Igarashi, was recognized as a candidate for the new U20 national team. That victory didn't just belong to Isagi and his friends. It was also a victory for Igarashi, who kept his dream of playing in the World Cup alive, even if only by a thin thread. However, the real challenge had just begun. Welcome to the Neo Egoist League, a hellish competition where the Blue Lock players are sent to intern at elite European clubs. There's Bastard München from Germany, PXG from France, and other giant teams. This is where the players must prove their worth to get contract offers and a ranking that will determine their fate for the World Cup. Igarashi, either cleverly or perhaps desperately, chose Bastard München, the team coached directly by the world's #1 striker, Noel Noah, and inhabited by monsters like Michael Kaiser. Aware that his attacking skills were nothing in the face of these monsters, Igarashi made the most crucial decision of his career. He made a complete U-turn. From stubbornly wanting to be a striker, he transformed into a defender. He was no longer chasing goals, but chasing a way to be useful to the team. And this is where his most annoying yet genius secret weapon began to be honed. Igarashi utilized the one unique skill he possessed, the Malicia Style. This is the sly art of provoking opponents, performing convincing dives, and drawing fouls. In Bastard München, he turned this deceptive technique into his primary weapon. During the do-or-die match against PXG, the super-logical Noel Noah made a decision that shocked everyone. He put Igarashi on the field. And what did Igarashi do? He managed to bait Itoshi Rin, the calm genius, into losing his cool and committing a foolish foul. We might get frustrated watching him fall all over the field, but his dirty strategy was genuinely effective. He slowed down the opponent's attack and earned valuable free kicks for his team. Igarashi had become a master of provocation, a cunning artist on the green pitch. However, the drama wasn't over. After the Neo Egoist League concluded, the final rankings were announced. Igarashi, with all his effort and cunning, only managed to land at the 36th rank. A painful result, as only the top 23 players would be called up for the U20 World Cup squad. At this point, Igarashi's fairy tale journey should have been over. He had fought, he had proven his ability to survive, but in the end, his talent wasn't enough. The story should have ended here. But wait, this is Blue Lock, and there's always a surprise around every corner. A shocking fact emerged from the mouth of Buratsuta, one of the heads of the Japan Football Association. He declared he had the power to choose 3 additional players from outside the top 23, known as the Buratsuta 3. This is where all the wild theories and puzzles about Igarashi start to make sense. We know Buratsuta has been eyeing Itoshi Sai for one slot and offered another to Nagi. But Buratsuta's reason for choosing Nagi wasn't purely based on talent. It's because Nagi is an audience magnet, a source of money from Blue Lock TV. Buratsuta doesn't care about Ego Jinpachi philosophy. All he cares about is entertainment and profit. When Ego called Nagi trash that needed to be thrown out, Buratsuta was furious precisely because he was losing his cash cow. Now, with 2 slots remaining, think about this. If what Buratsuta is looking for is drama, sensation, and something that gets the audience hyped, who is a more perfect candidate than Gurimu Igarashi? Bringing back the lowest-ranked player, the clown that everyone underestimated, into the World Cup squad would be an incredible show. It would trigger debate, outrage, and an unpredictable curiosity that would ultimately skyrocket the popularity of Blue Lock TV. This theory is further strengthened by Igarashi's appearance in the latest chapter, where he meets a dejected Nagi. This is no longer a coincidence. It's possible that Igarashi is now Buratsuta's secret agent, sent on a mission to incite Nagi to join him, forming a Buratsuta 3 alliance to destroy Blue Lock's idealism from within. By inserting a trash player like Igarashi, Buratsuta could create a rotten side within the Japanese national team, which he could later use to blame and overthrow Eigo Jinpachi from his position. Igarashi's journey is no longer about becoming the #1 striker. It might be about becoming the most dangerous pawn in the ideological war of Japanese soccer. Will this monk become an unexpected savior, or the very destroyer who will bring the greatest chaos in Blue Lock's history? The answer remains a mystery.